Hello, and welcome to FireMoonRose-Play Season 4, Episode 7, the season finale and review of Gone Home. As always, we're your co-hosts, Aurian MoonRose and Saul Wildfire. So, like Limbo, this game didn't really give us much story to begin with, though at least did give us a story to start with. About having to come home and find out what happened to your sister and your parents. Though there are no enemies, which I guess Limbo has that beat on. And the story really does take a twist that I did not see coming, but we will get into that. So, let's go ahead and go home ourselves and start the review of Gone Home. Now, I know last time we said with Limbo that the gameplay and the controls weren't going to be that much, but literally it's even less in this game. We found a game that does less than Limbo does. So, the gameplay. At least I guess we're going to talk about the graphics, aren't we?
Yeah.
So, I guess we can skip out on that at the moment. So the gameplay literally is like a point and click, I suppose. You're in first person, and you're going around and you're picking stuff up. And then let's just start at the very beginning. The first thing you have to do is find that key to the house to open it up. Pick up a duck, toss it, because the duck isn't important. There's a key, you pick that up, then you go to the door and you click on it. That's pretty much the whole game.
Point and click.
Point and click. The amazing stuff about it, I suppose, you can flush toilets. You can use sinks. I mean, you can pretty much turn on or throw or do anything. But I think my favorite part was when it was my turn playing, and I grabbed all the utensils and said, if there's a demon in this house, I'm blowing it up, and was throwing all the silverware in the microwave. That's neat. It's just too bad I couldn't turn the microwave on, because that would have made it perfect. But that's really all the gameplay I can think of. I mean, there's journals that are played as you're going along, which comes back to the main part of the story.
Yeah.
But really, that's all I can think of, other than, that's it. That's pretty much it.
I know, right? And I hate that you couldn't run.
Oh, God, the running. Especially when we were trying the last, little bit.
Yeah, I know.
Trying to beat the game in a minute. Run, you!
They were in as slow as possible. So.
I mean, and really, that's the gameplay and the controls. I know normally you talk about both separately, but one goes into the other literally.
Yeah, there's not much.
Is there anything you'd like to add?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm not going to say that the story's bad.
Yeah.
The only thing that really kept me...
goes into the
I know
story.
it does. But it does, but it also goes into the gameplay for me. The only reason why I continued to play this game, besides the fact that we had to play it for the show, was not knowing what was happening.
Yeah.
Because of all the stuff that was not in the game, a lot of people could have quit it.
Yeah.
I mean, because really, there's no enemies. You think there might be ghosts, but spoiler alert! Nope! Seriously, it's just you exploring a house and trying to find out what happened to your parents and your sister.
Yep.
Alright, so I wish there was more I could say about this.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll go into final rating. I mean, the gameplay and controls aren't extremely bad. I mean, the running really is out of our control. So I guess I'll give it a 5.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, honestly. Average.
It's average. That's literally what it is.
You can't really dock it points, and you can't really give it points.
No, it didn't do anything new and inventive. It basically was a mystery. Like I said, The only thing they added that was great was the fact that you could turn on faucets, you could flush toilets. Every gamer loves to do that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it didn't do anything new, but it did stuff that well, as we'll get into with realistic, it did stuff that was real.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, the gameplay wasn't bad. It was the mystery that kept me going, but the gameplay, I mean, I guess if I knew what the game was about in the first place, the gameplay's not bad. Like I said, a 5.
Yeah.
And the controls are good. I mean, they do what you need it to do other than try to beat the game in a minute.
As good as it gets, anyway.
Yeah. All right, so, wow, this could be a really short review because there is not much to say about this game until the story.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead and go to music and effects. And effects. Not infects. And see if it does any better than gameplay and control.
So, the music, I mean, what could you guys hear, honestly? Because every time we put it in, in the thing, you couldn't hear nothing. Because it was,
Copyright.
yeah, copyright. So, I mean, I guess the music was alright. It wasn't bad.
Well, I mean, first of all, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think there was any music in the game. I mean, background music.
Nah, there wasn't really. It was just the cassettes.
It was just the cassettes when you picked them up. And the cassettes were real songs.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, if you liked that music, which we couldn't listen to it more than a few seconds because, as we learned in episode 1,
Yeah.
copyright. Thank you, YouTube. No, actually, it wasn't even YouTube at this point. Thank you, Twitch. So, yeah, no, I mean, what little we heard of the music, I guess it was alright.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if the music was my thing or not, but the music was there.
Yeah. It was alright.
I mean, the only thing we got to hear was the ending, and that got annoying after having to replay it like 50 times.
Oh, yeah, she couldn't sing. Nope.
No sing at all. But I do like that they tried to put a band in there.
Yeah.
It's just too bad that the band kind of wasn't great.
Well, who knows if the others were, but she wasn't.
She sure as heck wasn't. So, I guess, unless there's anything else you want to talk about with music, since again, there really wasn't much. Like I said, it was dead silence unless you threw in a cassette. And even then, it went dead silent for you guys, so we couldn't play the music. So it was like, oh, a cassette, let's see if it has some talk on it. Oh, hell no! Like, throw that sucker. So, effects.
No, well, I mean, I guess there was door opening, kind of, and, picking things up. I don't even know if they really even made a sound, honestly. Not much of one.
It was a swoop sound or
There was
something.
a creaking when the doors opened, I thought.
Or the floors. When you turn the light switches on, you could hear the light switch clicks. The water ran like water. So, I mean, again,
Just realistic sounds.
yeah, it was realistic sounds, which wasn't bad. I mean, it definitely did immerse you a little bit, because the silent factor really did make it made it feel like it was that it was supposed to be a VR game.
Yeah.
Like, you should really be there. And I think that's why the whole mystery of what happened, where everybody was, I think that's why this would work great.
Yeah.
But there wasn't really much sound effects outside of that. I mean, there was thunder once or twice, which I think did make me jump.
Yeah.
But beyond that, I mean, yeah, I think the most sounds were creaks
Yeah.
or passage. There wasn't that much. I mean, the TV. I mean, you could hear the TV every now and then, which was like the tornado warning effect.
Yeah.
But again, I'm gonna say I think that's really about it, right?
Yep.
All right. So you can go first with your rating on the sound effects, or the sound and the effects,
Music.
or music and the effects. I knew something didn't sound right.
I give it a 7 because, I mean, I dock it a few points because there could be more in it, but, I mean, it's a little bit above average, I guess.
I'm still giving it a 5. To me, I mean, don't get me wrong. Okay, I'm going to change it. I'm going to give it an 8 if this was a VR game.
Holy crap, no, just pick one.
No, I'm saying if it was VR, it'd be an 8.
Yeah, but if it's not...
But if it's not, then it's a 5. Because for me, like I said, the sound effects are realistic. The music not being there kind of makes it a little bit more creep factor, since the game's supposed to supposedly be creepy.
Yeah.
Except when you turn it, see, I would have liked to have had like a Walkman in that game or a CD player, and you could take the music with you. But of course, then they wouldn't hear anything.
They wouldn't hear nothing.
But yeah, I'm gonna give it a 5, 8 if it was VR. But that's something to actually think about. Do a VR version of this. I think it would be pretty interesting. At least if you haven't played it before. All right, so I suppose she gave it a little bit more generous rating than I did. So let's go ahead and dive into graphics and reality. Oh, thank goodness, there's actually something to talk about in this section. So first we'll start with the graphics. The graphics actually go into the reality a little bit as looking pretty much realistic. I mean, it does feel a little cel-shaded.
Yeah.
But for the most part, the graphics are realistic. What is it about it? Like, how to explain it? The faces. The faces look like garbage. At least that of the sister. Like, I took one look at the sister's face, and I'm like, that's fugly. Then I took a look at the sister and the parents, and I'm like, this is one ugly family. No wonder the sister had to go to what she did. And Lonnie looked like the non-butch there.
Yeah.
But no. The graphics, I mean, the doors, the house, the ground, the tub, the dining room, all of it looked pretty realistic for the graphics.
Yeah.
So, there's that. Wow, I guess thinking about it now, there really isn't much to talk about again.
Yeah, no, there's not.
So how about you for the graphics? Not the reality yet, but the graphics.
Yeah.
Yeah! Yeah, baby, yeah! So, alright, we'll dive into the reality. This game felt like it was completely in reality. 100%. I mean, if I didn't know any better, I would literally say that somebody knocked me out and threw me into the actual game.
Yeah.
I mean, you come home, they're missing, you go searching for them, doors are where they're supposed to be, there's hidden passages in the house, which, okay, that might be the only thing that's kind of out of place, but some places had secret passages. The tubs worked, the lights worked, what actually was going on in the game was reality-based.
No supernatural.
Well, no, but at least the sister said there was something supernatural going on with the uncle.
There was something, whatever.
But they never showed it. It was tell, don't do on this one.
Well, no, they didn't necessarily say it was supernatural. They literally just said that he was a psycho or something.
Right, there was that too, but remember the girlfriend, spoiler again, the girlfriend of the sister and her did that spell to try to get rid of the spirit because they were seeing hauntings going on from the uncle.
Yeah, but even that's normal. They didn't show any supernatural, therefore there's no proof.
Proof. What it literally was it basically was just, hi, you're reading my journal. There was a ghost, maybe. We don't know. We did a spell just to make sure. But otherwise, the game completely takes place in reality. I mean, after the surprise twist of nothing supernatural going on, the game was 100% without a doubt based in reality. So, I guess we'll go into final rating here, and I'm going to say I'm going to give it a 10.
Okay, well.
And the reason why I'm going to give it a 10 is, other than maybe being a little cel-shaded, the graphics are nice.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't really fault them on it. And the reality of the game is 100% real. Like, there is nothing special about this game.
Okay.
So,
I'm pleading the fifth, and I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna give it a 9.
A 9.
Yeah, but I'm mostly giving it a 9 because it's. I mean, the faces aren't that great, and I think the graphics could need a little touching up. But other than that, it was alright, so.
So basically, it was the cell shading part where it felt realistic, but it just was a little off. But yeah, those faces were something horrible. Like
Garbage face.
Like, yeah, I don't know. Like, oh, I forgot. No, I'm actually docking at a point. I'm going down to 9
Oh.
because this one simple reason, and that's the graphics. I couldn't read the notes. Oh my god, trying to read half the notes, unless they were printed by a computer, all the handwritten notes and the
It's
small
realistic,
notes.
though.
It's realistic. I give it that.
And you could push that button to make it.
No, that was in the painting game.
Oh, that's not this one.
That's not this one. There was no way to read everything. I'm sitting there like,
Dang, there's too many games that have where you read stuff.
I know, right? Lately. I mean, okay, so I need glasses, but I don't actually have them. So I'm sitting there trying to read up front. I think you guys might have noticed on the show. I'm like, she ended up having to take over half the time. And it's going to be more under the graphics department than the realistic.
Yeah.
Because the realistic, yeah, that's how notes should be read. But graphics-wise, they could have done something for we could have read it better. So I am agreeing with you. I'm giving it a 9.
Well, why put it in cursive when not everyone can read cursive?
Especially anymore since we quit learning cursive.
Plus, people have certain types of cursive.
Well, and then trying to read the stuff that was crumpled up.
Exactly.
I mean, I understand that sometimes games like to cut out bits and pieces, but this was literally just crumpled up, and you were just like, Areola.
Yeah, but you know what would have been cool though? If you could actually like put together the paper.
That would have made it a little bit better.
And then all of a sudden, kaboosh, it's like a full paper.
They do that in some, like Sherlock Holmes, I think they do something. So that would have been awesome. You know what else would have been awesome? If you could have slapped the hoe and had her read it. But like, press the Y button, dearest sister.
Yeah, why couldn't she read it?
Yeah, why couldn't she just read it out loud? So yeah, I'm docking it for that.
Alright.
So a 9 and a 9. So we actually were even on that. So let's go ahead and go into creativity of the story. And this is where it's going to be long, I hope.
Me.
Yeah, maybe.
So pretty much the entire thing is going to be the story and the creativity. I mean, when you first start out, it's literally like all you have to think about is your family's gone, and you know
the entire house is empty.
You're supposed to try to find clues as to where the heck they went.
So of course the first thing we think of is, oh, this is either a supernatural story or, oh my god, maybe the sister murdered the parents.
Yeah, exactly. And then you figure out about the uncle and he's psycho and whatnot.
Which really adds fuel to the flame of that. Which at one point I even made a theory that we were going to go up to the attic, find the parents dead, try to escape, and the sister was going to be like all bloodied and be like.
Yeah, or you mentioned that Sam might have been the killer.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought something was going to happen. I just didn't know what. Thought we might have saw the uncle or
Boy,
whatnot.
we were wrong.
And so pretty much the entire game, like, you end up finding secret passages and whatnot.
Which are awesome.
Yeah, true. And pretty much just go through an entire mix of different diary entries.
Which also accumulates to the fact that the uncle might be around as a ghost who's psycho. So, oh my god, maybe he killed everybody and they're all up in the attic. Or maybe he possessed somebody.
Yeah, the first few had some of that in it, and then it just drifted away from it, and kind of just went from the sister liking this Lonnie chick, and the whole dang thing turned into a lesbian love story.
Oh my goodness. And that was the thing, like, all of a sudden it's like, wait, she's falling in love with a girl? Oh, this is gonna get into it. Maybe she murdered, maybe she snapped and murdered her parents because they didn't accept of it.
Mm. Yeah, I thought something was gonna happen still.
But instead.
Yeah, so, yeah, and then you end up finding this key that ends up in the attic and whatnot, and There's a whole story about why she had to go and whatnot. I'm sorry about this.
Which is why the journals played at certain points.
Exactly. And apparently, the parents don't freaking matter, even though you can find out where they went by looking at, like, they're celebrating their anniversary. Which, why would they celebrate their anniversary
on the week
when
that you
they
were coming back?
They knew you were coming
according
home.
to the thing, they knew generally when she was coming back. But why even go near the time she's coming back?
Exactly. Hold it off. Hold the dang thing off.
Yeah.
If you knew she was gonna come around that time.
So basically, the end of the game was the parents were off on their anniversary, and the sister ran away. So the whole time with a girl. So the whole time you were looking around the place, picking up these clues and getting into the game, it was a romance story.
Slightly soft porno.
Slightly.
Because they're like, oh, I made out with her, and oh, I kept thinking.
Yeah, it got steamy. There was one point.
Holy crap!
There was one point where I should have stopped the video and read the letter because the sister started reading it, or we started reading it. She's like, "Nope, I'm not even going to touch this."
Yeah.
All in all, though, I would still say the creativity of the story was pretty nice. Yeah. I'm not going to say it's a bad creativity. I mean, they really let us on. It's like, oh, this is a horror. This is a mystery murder. This is something. And then, bam, romance right out of left field. Never saw that coming.
Yeah, no.
So I will say that the creativity, I mean, it's kind of like Limbo where you don't know much of what's going on.
Yeah.
But at least unlike Limbo, you piece together the whole plot by the end.
And you figure out what actually went on. Instead of Limbo, is just a whole bunch of different scenarios.
Yeah. That you pretty much have come up with. So, I mean, I'm not going to say I dislike the story. The game, I mean, the game won many awards, apparently, for certain things. And I can see why.
Yeah.
Is it a game that I would have played if I would have known that there was no supernatural, or a game that I would have played if I knew it was about romance? I don't know. I'm going to say I wouldn't.
I would, just because I was curious at what the heck it is if it's not those things.
Yeah, I mean, maybe for that retrospect. But the thing that really keeps you going in this game is the fact of the unknown.
Yeah.
But it is still also fun to explore around the place.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, what would you give the creativity of the story?
I think it deserves an 8.
An 8? I was actually thinking exactly that was an 8. It's not much is going on.
Yeah.
And, I mean, once you find out what is going on, it's kind of dull.
Yeah.
Ish. But still getting to that point. It's still fun in the end. So, I mean, I can't really, again, and I mean, I've said this a lot during this review, I can't really fault the game for this.
Yeah.
So, I think this is a good place to leave it off for creativity. On a good note that it's fun to play the first time, it might be fun to get the achievements. So let's go ahead and delve into the rating and the final score and see what this game can actually rate for a game that's the game about nothing, except for a love relationship. So I did give this game mostly 5s, with a little 9 and an 8. So really, to me, this game feels like that it's gotta be a 6.5 or a 7. But to be generous, because again, like I said, this game is kind of blah, but it's an okay blah, I'm going to give it a 7. And the reason why I'm going to give it a 7 is mostly due to the fact that it does keep your interest.
Yeah.
Like, even though you find out that it's a love story, and you're like, oh, that was a ripoff. I mean, it sort of was a ripoff. I mean, like I said, it was still interestingly different. Yeah. You were excited about what was going to happen. And see, when I thought it was a horror game, I'm like, this game really isn't scaring me too much.
Yeah.
But I guess it wasn't supposed to. I think they kind of tricked you on purpose. But then the graphics aren't too bad. Like I said, a little bit cel-shaded. The family's ugly. And the realism is nice. Like I said, whenever you can flush a toilet or turn on the faucet, that's a gamer's dream.
Yeah.
the music and the sound effects, or their lack of, really did work well with a creepy environment, even though it wasn't, again, a horror or mystery game.
Yeah.
And the creativity of the story, like I said, even though it wasn't what we thought it was, the game completely 180'd me. It was still an okay story.
Yeah.
It's nice to see that we can go outside our normal and have a lesbian story now. As in back in the day, that was taboo.
Yeah.
At least my time, it definitely was. So that's basically why I'm giving it a 7. I mean, the controls and the gameplay were kind of dullish, but like I said, it was the story that kept me kind of into it, wanting to know what happened. So it kind of made a back seat, and that's why I'm down to a 7 on it.
Yeah. I give it an 8 because I think everything went really well. They really helped the character development because you get to learn that the mother is a forest person with. And honestly, I couldn't really care less that she's out there.
She was winning awards, and see if there's a story behind it, because beat it in a minute.